back. Welcome back to Daily MexicoDailyReview.com. We are going to, well, it's 8 o'clock, 8:15 in Mexico City. The polls have closed, and numbers are rolling in. Exit polls by different media groups are rapidly being presented on radio, TV, websites, and we're going to start providing you some results, at least in terms of the exit polls. Most of the polls that we've seen up until now seem to indicate that the next president of Mexico will be Enrique Peña Nieto, the candidate for the PRI and the Green Party, with a relatively large margin. The Azteca Group poll shows he won by 39%. In second place, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, 30%. And in third place, the candidate for the PAN party, the official party, Josefina Vázquez Mota, she comes in with 22%. Other polls, for example, Universal, that's one of the more important nationwide newspaper here in Mexico, is presenting a poll in which Enrique Peña Nieto comes a little bit higher, 42%, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, the candidate for the left side of the political spectrum, with 31%, and Josefina Vázquez Mota with 24%. Ulises Beltran's poll, which is being published by Excelsior newspaper, and we want to thank Excelsior because we are actually transmitting live from their site here at the Federal Electoral Institute. His poll states that Enrique Peña Nieto won by 40%. Andrés Manuel López Obrador comes in second place with 30% of the votes, and Josefina Vázquez Mota with 25% of the votes. Finally, GIA-ISA, which is the pollsters that have been providing daily information on the status of the election or the voters' vote. It's a poll that's being provided daily by Milenio. Basically states that Enrique Peña Nieto comes in with 42%, Andrés Manuel with 31%, and Josefina Vázquez Mota with 23%. Cuadri, who is the candidate for this party called Alianza, which is linked to the teachers' union, a very controversial link, by the way, it needs to get at least, I believe, 4% in order to assure the survival of this party. And depending on the poll, he does get 4%. On some, and some he doesn't. It's at 3%. So I think they're going to have a long evening to assure the registration of this party. So most of the polls we have seen up until now shows Enrique Peña Nieto winning by between 39 to 42% of the vote, and most of the polls that we've seen up until now, in fact I haven't seen any poll that shows otherwise. Andrés Manuel is coming in second place with preference by the voters between 30 and 31%, and Josefina Vázquez Mota comes in third place with a preference of between 22 to 25%. I know it's going to be a long evening for all of us, but at least in terms of the exit polls, it appears that the clear winner and the next president of Mexico will be Enrique Peña Nieto. What will happen now? Well, right now they're rapidly tallying the ballots around the country, and at 11:45 p.m. this evening, Mexico City time, the Federal Elections Commission will come out with what they call quick count tally. That is it's a poll that they do, but not based on, and it's not an exit poll, it's based on polls, on ballots basically, and it's a pretty good survey in terms of who voted and how they voted throughout the country. And there is an enormous reliance on this quick count vote, mainly because they're trying to announce tonight who is Mexico's next president. So we won't have the situation that we had 6 years ago, where the election was too close to call, so they weren't able to announce that same day who they believed the next president of Mexico would be. And if you'll recall, then we had this legal procedure and crisis, constitutional crisis in Mexico that lasted until September, and it made it very difficult for President Felipe Calderón to be sworn in. They're trying to avoid that now, and they want to make sure that they can announce who Mexico's next president is. And it looks like it's going to be relatively easy if the polls continue, at least the exit polls continue to show these results, and if the quick count shows similar results. Now, with that said, we already are starting to have protests here in front of the Federal Electoral Institute. There are cries of fraud outside. It's not very clear right now whether more young people are starting to present themselves here at the Federal Electoral Institute. I've been told that there's more and more people that are going and heading towards the Zócalo, where Andrés Manuel López Obrador is expected to be tonight, and we don't know if he's going to be making any announcement or not, but that's where he is expected to be. And there's this group, hashtag I am 132, Yo soy 132, is also supposed to be there tonight with him. So we still have a long evening ahead, and much can happen, but we are starting to hear calls of fraud, not only here at the Federal Electoral Institute, but as we are checking Twitter and messages that are starting to flow around. So don't go away. We're going to be providing you updates throughout the evening. I'm Ana Maria Salazar. Thank you so much for joining us here at Mexico Daily Review. We will soon be back. Don't go away.